Herzlich willkommen zu Dungeon of the Endless, einem Early-Access Roguelike Dungeon Crawler Spiel und ein Spiel, was mich völlig überfordert. Deshalb habe ich diesmal Hilfe, und zwar die beste Hilfe, die man haben kann. Ich habe die Entwickler hier. Welcome, Romain from Amplitude Studios.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
And you're not alone. You actually brought a robot who's going to play
Max,
the game.
Actually,
we call it Max.
It is very handy.
And he plays the game, so we can actually talk about it. So it's a 3 people let's play. Since we only have 2 microphones, only 2 people are allowed to talk. Unfortunately, one of them is me. We start the game, and maybe you can just explain what is Dungeon of the Endless, what is it all about, since I'm really glad that you're here. I played it before and I love your games, all of them, Endless Legend, Endless Space and Dungeon of the Endless, but I'm really bad at them.
So this one, it is normal to be bad at it, like we all are bad at it, you know. There are a few people that are good at it, you know, and actually they love to brag about it, but I guess not all of them are among the developers. We kind of creating this system and then that universe. Because basically, what you've just seen before was a little backstory to the game. What happens is, you know, there is this kind of jail ship, you know, that passes that planet called Oregon, and inside, you know, you have a lot of prisoners, and not just prisoners, and the ship crashes into that planet, unknown planet, and when people manage to escape through this escape pod, you know, they find themselves, you know, inside a dungeon in a planet. And now what they will have to do will be to go and escape that planet. So to do that, actually, you will have to die a lot. And that's why it's normal like to lose, it's extremely difficult. But as you go, you know, you will meet some other guys, other heroes. The thing is, when you meet them, you never know who they are, who they were, and what are their real intentions. Although you play them all, some of them, you know, will probably be ex-prisoners and they want to hide that from you, and maybe you will be playing, you know, someone who actually were we have the jail chief, for example, who was actually who has also his own agenda, and this is all little like stories, but discover bit by bit by playing these guys together. You never play the same guys at the same time. And actually, you don't always use the same escape pod. You know, as game goes, you'll be able to unlock other escape pods, and that will totally change the way the game plays. Basically, adding new game modes and difficulties.
What we're seeing now is the beta version.
That's yes.
All these features, like the story elements that were promoted early on, are they already included? When I played it back in the alpha, they weren't. There was just a little background on the.
I think you have half of it actually. I think we did include the visuals. Do we have the visuals in, Max? The album, is it in? Okay, so sorry, it's not in yet.
Max, you have to speak with the robot voice. Don't fall out of your road.
Okay, so we filmed that. So basically, no. What we did is there are 3 main elements to that. The 2 main ones that we show that we want to do, and one which is already done but not actually in the actual build, is there's a visual element. It's like basically while you play these guys, you know, you will discover a bit about their background, and you will unlock visuals. Basically, you will have these kind of panels with the images that will add to it, and together, you know, you will kind of make up of a story of how they knew each other before and what were the links between these people visually. The second part is text-wise, you know, they will discuss, they will talk, and they will reveal themselves. And the third part, that what we hope to do, which is not as sure that we'll do, but we'll try to see if we can do it, is to also add a gameplay link to that. We could imagine, you know, we have always an example that we take when we talk about this is the lovers. You know, you will discover that these 2 persons actually were lovers before, and when one of them die, the other one dies too. You know, so you will have to make sure, you know, to save them both.
Cool,
you know,
cool
so you can't sacrifice them. So it's this kind of elements that, you know, where the story adds to the gameplay, and you always want to unlock, you know, new guys to. First of all, because they all play differently, they all have their own gameplay, but you know, it's a bit more than that. I wanted to make sure also, you know, it's a bit the same with all the games we work on. It's it's not all about mechanics. You know, we want you like to leave the story to really feel closer to these guys. You know, it's and it's funny because we visually, you know, we're going for pixel art, and so it's very. It's a very arty kind of style, you know. It's not we didn't go for like a full immersion, full 3D. First of all, like we would have never had the means to do that. And if you want to make it pretty and good looking, you know, it takes you like 50 guys, like for 3 years to have something going.
How many people are working? Just to sum it up, Amplitude Studio, that's an indie developer working from Paris.
Yes.
With lots of people who worked before on projects like...
we worked at Ubisoft for many of us, or we work at DICE. Basically we worked on Might and Magic Heroes, we worked on Ruse, we worked on quite a lot of strategy games. Ghost Recon, our art director works also on Romain and 13 on top of Ghost Recon and stuff. It's quite a lot of things. The thing is, together we're already quite a team. Basically, we're working together on, especially on the Might and Magic games.
How many people are there?
Clash of Heroes. Today, now we are 35 or so. We started 2 actually. We're just 2 when we started like 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago now, and very quickly a lot of people we worked with in the past at Ubisoft joined us, or our core team basically. So now we are. So then we were like on Endless Space. I think we're quite more or less 12 most of the time.
Endless Space was your first game. It was this one is the second. There is a third game actually out now, also on early access, which is Endless Legend, and they are all connected.
Basically,
even though each game is completely different.
Yes.
How are they and why?
It's all, well, the thing is, it's all the same universe. First of all, when we started working on the Endless Space, we loved the universe we're creating, and we wanted to. When Endless Space was finished, we didn't want to stop there. We felt like we were just starting something, not finishing something. So and already when we finished Endless Space, you know, we had in mind Endless Legend, and Endless Legend is a fantasy game which is set basically in that science fiction universe. But it was hard to make the link, and somehow we wanted to create a little game just for fun, which was Dungeon of the Endless, and which was supposed to be the link, trying to give you some background stories that would link basically the planet Auriga, which is set in the universe of Endless Space. So
to sum it up, Endless Space is playing in the future.
Yes.
And when we go back, we get to Dungeon of the Endless on the planet where these prisoners and
find themselves,
and where they crash landed on, and their descendants are going to be the ones we learn about in Endless.
Some of the descendants, yes, exactly, will be on Legend. Actually,
please feel yourself mindfucked.
Yes, exactly. And the good thing is also with that is it allows us to make sure that the players are not lost. You know, is the interface that we use. You know, there's people tend to really like the interface we work on, and basically they will find, you know, the same stuff at the same place. They will never be lost. We have a lot of gameplay elements that you find from one game to the other, although they are different gameplays. For example, like, you know, the economy, what we call the feats will always be more or less the same at the same place. They will all have the same use. You know, it's basically. It's a new game, but you don't have to learn everything from scratch. You know, maybe without even having to play a tutorial, you know, you should be able to very quickly pick up the game. And the good thing is, because they are very deep games, but it's not a game where, you know, you have to spend hours to try to understand what it's all about and how will I be able to handle it. We worked a lot on making the games intuitive as we can, especially because they are rich games. And most of the time when you play these kind of rich games, you know, you spend more time trying to learn about the interface and how to use it than how to play it. And when you finally manage to if you are patient enough to learn how to use it, and, you know, after a while you can play the game, which we hope is not the case for our game, or at least we make a lot of effort to make sure it's not the case. So to go back on the because basically our robot in the meantime has been like playing and playing and playing. So now it's level 2, the second level of that dungeon, and it's a dungeon where you are at the bottom and you're going up, and basically.
How many levels are there?
I think we will be aiming at 12. It could be a bit less. We hesitate still between like 10 and 12. Again, it's early access, so we take a lot of feedback from the players. We have created something we call the Games Together, where people actually come with us and participate to the creation of the game and also to the balance of the game. So whether like a lot of the heroes that we have in the game actually were co-created with the community.
These levels that you're moving through, they are themed. Later on, you're going to see
like we have 5 or 6 themes, kind of losing
like
tracks
labs and stuff like that.
Sorry.
Labs and stuff like that. I read about.
Yes,
I didn't actually get this far.
Yes, we have labs. We'll have more like cavernous areas. We have basically you'll discover like you are in a place. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically a lot of experiments were going on the planet, and actually especially in the place where you are at the moment. So as you go, discover actually some people like are still inhabiting that place, and some of them were issued from some experiments that were going on there.
And like most indie games nowadays, it's permadeath. You can't save. That's the development. A lot of people are arguing about, but especially indie studios are using this element quite a lot. Why can't you save in the game? Is it that important to really make your decisions count?
Okay, so I don't think it is something but the indie studios only. It's just a matter of also of gameplay. Of course, if Max wants to stop there and play again tomorrow, he will be able to continue his game tomorrow.
Yes, of course. You can continue, but you can't jump back.
No, you can't say, okay, I will save this one. And I think the whole interest of the game, it's an iron mode. Kind of game, and which is more and more popular in strategy games, because it's true. You want to make sure that when you make these choices, they're really meaningful. You can't say, okay, you know what, I'll save. I'll see what happens behind the door, and if I don't like it, I will just do it again. I think that would totally kill the whole experience. The thing is now Max, when he's playing now, he's never sure what's going on, and especially he's being filmed. He wants to to make sure to have a good gameplay. So a lot of stress, which is more or less the same. When you've been playing like 4 and 5 levels. It's getting harder and harder. Every of your decisions could be a bad one, and it could mean losing that hero that you love so much. So it makes it so much more intense, basically, and we want to make sure also, by playing and playing and playing, even if you die a lot, you still unlock stuff and still, in a way, move forward on the kind of meta gameplay.
So of course, the kind of heroes you get, the kind of items, even the level layout on every restart, it's made new. It's randomized, and but on the other side, let's say if this game would have been published by Ubisoft, they would have said, oh, we need to make it more accessible, we need to think about the core gamer. You can say, fuck that, we want to do the game we want to do. But does that work?
I think if you look at, I don't think it's just Ubisoft, it's just,
as an example for
a bigger publisher, especially
publisher.
A few years ago. I think things are changing a bit, actually, and which is interesting. I think things are changing due to indie development encouraging bigger developers to change, which is funny because I think a while back it would have been smaller teams trying to do or imitate bigger developers with less money and less time and less people and whatever, which made no sense.
That's where all the bad Call of Duty clones are.
Exactly,
came from,
and you still have many of them, and you just wonder why you would do that. But anyway, so basically, I think the good thing that we've seen in the past years is indies thinking, okay, you know what? Let's stop trying to be what we're not. Well, let's make the game first we want to play, and not the game that sells. People would tell you that's the game that sells. And you know what? We'll make it our own gameplay, and we. If people don't like dying, well, they will not buy this game. They will buy another game. They will go somewhere else. The thing is with that, we can explore a lot of. Oh shit! Okay, this is difficult.
Yeah.
Max. Okay.
the jump from the last level to this one was very close too.
Okay, I was a bit scared that would have been the end of short end of the demo, but okay, that works. Anyway, sorry for that. So anyway, no, what we're saying is basically we can take risks. We can actually change game design rules that that kind of were forbidden, in the to attack. For example, yes, permadeath. For example, a few years ago, people would have told you, if you do that, it's just bad design and you're just stupid to do that. Now it's just accepted that you could have some gameplays that are just different, and playing with the fear of losing. I think I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls lately, Dark Souls 2, and it's funny because I just love the game. And when you look at it, you could think at many of the elements that okay, this could be thought as bad design, and all these elements actually make it great, insane design. So I really love the game, and I think in many ways, it approaches game design differently, or shows that actually not all the games must be on the same kind of fold, kind of. It's so. With the way they approach death, for example, it's very unique, and each time kind of growing from death, I think it's beautiful mechanic. And anyway, and that's in a way now it becomes a big studio, and they attract a lot of interest, and I think this is what you're seeing from indie developers. I think actually for me, I'm playing mostly indie games lately. Well, I don't think we can say Dark Souls is an indie game anymore, but really. But if you look at my game library, it's mostly indie games, and a lot of players I see around is definitely more attracted to this kind of games because, yes, they're a bit more rough, but you have more surprises. It's so I think that's why basically the tide is changing a bit, and you see more and more bigger publishers accepting to do different games, and games with the smaller teams, also letting go a bit more on the creative side for the teams, saying, okay, you know what, do the game, and I'll trust you. I'll see. I'll try not to tell you what to do, and have. I think that more the teams bringing ideas. Like if you look at, I think it's Child of Light.
Child of Light, yeah.
Child of Light. I think it's a game a bit like that, which is very different.
Valiant Hearts, for example.
Valiant Hearts.
Another example of a rather big publisher doing a game that you would expect to see from an indie developer.
Exactly.
One other thing. This game, also like Endless Legend, you're using early access on Steam.
Yes.
Also, one of the things that the bigger publishers are adapting to, and a system that was originally created for smaller games for indie developers. Now the big ones are coming in and trying to do the same thing. How was the feedback on early access, and has the attitude of early access changed?
Yes. So okay, a lot of questions.
Yes, sorry. Answer a completely different one.
No, basically the early access and big publishers, I still think they're not ready for this. There's quite a few. We've been discussing with quite a few bigger publishers that came to us saying want to do stuff with us, blah blah blah. So it's very flattering. But each time when we talk about early access, they say, no, guys, no. We want to work with you, but no, not early access. We need to have the game ready, and when it's ready, it's ready. And it's funny, and especially sometimes publishers telling you that they are publishers 2.0, and they say, oh cool, so we can go do a co-development with early access, and they say. No, no, we don't do
so
that.
What's 2.0?
Yeah, so I really actually we never understood what they meant by 2.0 because actually it was definitely 1.0 or not even 1.0. So anyway, okay, that's one thing. I'm fairly sure that they will slowly adapt to that, and for me, I know that I will never again work on a game without early access. I think it's fantastic to be able to tune the game the way you want, to make sure the game is released when it is ready, not just because maybe someone needs the money, because someone wants to see the game out and wants to play on something else or work on something else. Sometimes teams could be tired after like a long development, and then they will just push to have the game out and say, okay, just ship it, you know, so we can move on. And the good thing is, if that happens, you can say, okay, listen, guys, you know, look at what the community says. You know, they love that, but this is not ready. We can't ship it yet. You know, we need to fix that. We need to improve on that. For us, we're lucky because we're working on you know, on games that are on short cycles, so we don't have the time to get tired, and that's why we want to work on short cycles. So to be really extremely creative all along and not have the time to be tired. So basically, early access is incredible. To be able, I mean, this game would have never been what it is without early access. Basically, thanks to that, you know, we added a lot of gameplay elements that we didn't thought of. We tuned the game, you know, very differently, and we still are tuning it. A lot of tuning still coming.
When is the release is a bit difficult to say nowadays. But when do you plan to exit early access?
It's hard to tell because actually we lately took the decision to spend even more time on the game. So we definitely want the game to see the game out before Christmas. But before that, to be more specific, honestly, we don't know. Each time we've been asked that, we always have this answer like, honestly, I don't know, and it's true. It's actually very comfortable not to know, you know, to be able to come one day and, you know, and look at the feedback coming in and say, you know, like looking at the balance of the feedback, now I think we're good to go, and more or less when we take the decision to ship, I think it will be on a 2 weeks window for more or less, you know, it will be shipping. Taking a decision to definitely for, you know, mid-July could have been, you know. So
are you expecting to sell the game when it exits early access very much more than it's already been bought using early access?
Oh yes.
It's
basically okay. So and that goes back to your other questions, like is our mentality changing with early access, or is early access changing a bit? I think early access, basically with Endless Space, we were the first game to be sold as alpha on Steam, and it was not even called early access yet because it didn't exist, and they only created that whole system convention after that, and they told us basically that we were the first one to be a kind of early access game on Steam. So at the time, I think people were really craving for games that were not finished and be able to participate in that. Since then, I don't know how many hundreds of early access games has been, you know, on Steam.
I think it's about right now. It's about 160
only?
early access games.
Okay,
I don't think they have cracked 200 yet.
Okay, I would have imagined more. But anyway, and the thing is, not all of them have been good prizes. I know some people have been disappointed because simply because some guys didn't finish the games or gave up, and it's and therefore that added to a kind of a risk that people didn't necessarily think about when starting when joining early access, when buying a game on early access.
What are you thinking about something like Planetary Annihilation, which is available on retail now as an early access game? Is that something that
retail? You mean boxes? No.
Yeah,
really?
it's the first game that is being sold as a boxed version, as an early access version, which is quite a controversy right now. I think something similar is happening with this Dead Island Epidemic game, where you can buy the better access. Is that something that is that the right development? I'm not sure myself. I don't really know.
For me. If it's very clear that, you know, on the box, you know, that the game is not finished, I think it's fine. You know, I don't think there's any difference on buying the game in the box or buying, you know, the game digitally. I think it's fine. I still think that players need that moment where you know, they say, okay, now the game is finished and it is the 1.0 version of the game. I still think that for me, making games, you know, shipping the game doesn't mean, you know, it's the end of the game development. For me, it's the beginning of the new development. It just all it means is we have a very solid base as a game, and from that, you know, we can build on it, and it's a great foundation. For me, as long as you are in early access, the foundation is still not solid. You still have some elements that you need to solidify, to fix, to make sure that you have that foundation up. So basically, definitely didn't like what we had a few years back, where shipping a game meant more or less, finishing. You were encouraged to build one DLC and very minimal patching, just for bugs and nothing else. And I think what showed the way was the way how MMO are doing with the game development. Of course, they have monthly subscriptions, but thanks to that, they were able to get the players accustomed to seeing new content every week, every month coming in, and you want to play your game, with new stuff coming in, and I still think that's definitely the way we should do with game, even though they're not MMOs. For me, for Dungeon, when we'll reach the 1.0, it's only the foundation, and we'll keep adding new content after that. So of course it is being helped by selling all along, so we can support doing that. But as it is going so far, I'm definitely sure and that it will work. And to come back on your other question, which is, do you think that people we will sell more games after early access? I can tell you 100% for sure, yes. What we've seen so far is early access is more or less, it seems to be like 10% of the sales that you can do on the game. So basically, and now you're mostly selling in the first couple of weeks, where you have people that are used to early access that join you right away and are ready to play unfinished games and understand that they take a risk and stuff, and it's true that after that you have very little people coming into your early access, because you kind of maximize it from the beginning. But once the game is finished, people can see the ratings, which is very reassuring, and from that, they can decide to buy it, not buy it. They know they will not have problems, crashing, freezing, losing progress, which is stuff that can happen on our in our game. Sometimes we have updates that are not very good. We're fast in fixing, but that can happen because it's still in development.
Would you say it's fair to do reviews on an early access version?
No. It's not what I meant. And that's why I think for me, when I say that the game ships, it means that I'm ready to like hit me. It's like okay, review it. I'm ready. It is how it should be how it should be reviewed, basically. No.
But on the other hand, you're selling the game before, and the problem we are seeing now on early access, like you said, there are some projects that are not worth the money.
Yes.
When you see it, and where they will never get what they promised, and it's difficult for probably for you, because you have the experience of games that were, when they started already quite far, they were playable, they were good, and the players know, okay, Amplify, we know that they are working actually on the game, but nowadays we can't always trust them.
So for us, that's why also we definitely want to more or less invest in the image of the company. We're making games, and there's a constant in all our games, in all our early accesses. First, when it comes out, it must be not bug-free, but it must be as buggy as any finished game, basically. So because a finished game always have bugs, and it's extremely rare to see a game doesn't have bugs when shipping, but it is in very good shape. And for us, our early access should be in a very good shape. Of course, thanks to early access, we'll discover some compatibility issues that we didn't think of, and we'll fix very quickly and in priority. But it is very stable. It's not just a half game. It is, and sometimes we prefer to give less content. I don't know if you remember the beginning of this one. We had done like 3 levels only.
Yeah.
And at least it was okay, Max. I think you. Okay,
Heal. Just realized we're actually not talking about the game very much. We're not explaining the game much.
Yeah.
But
He wanted to, like,
I'm sorry for everyone who's watching who thought we would actually explain the game. It now turns out we just talked about everything else.
So do you understand why we can't play and chat at the same time?
Yeah,
basically. That's why we have Max, you know. So.
But anyway, the game is on early access. Everybody who wants to know more about it can get it there. It's not very expensive, and it's a very nice game. Are there plans for the next Endless game already? Are there any ideas?
I mean, we have plenty of ideas, and it's true that when we started a while back, you know, we had a few games in mind, and already working on games, you know, makes you think of other games you want to make, and so definitely we have definitely a lot of ideas.
Give us an example. What did you? Don't spoil the conflicting things you came up. Or let's say things you already discarded.
Okay, no. Discarded. Actually, I'm very bad at discarding. So basically, there's still a lot of choices around. Let's say that basically for us, we just love strategy in general, and that's our problem is within strategy. You know, there's nothing we want to discard. So we definitely, I think, will explore different aspects of strategy as we go. Whether this is for PC, consoles, all kind of new platforms. I don't know. We definitely like a kind of challenge of finding new ways to play strategy games. In that kind of environment where, you know, you can create a universe as we do, and to absorb the player in this kind of world. We definitely want to also explore more with multiplayer and social interaction, as you see here with you know, all these heroes having their story and stuff. That's why also we wanted actually was a community who wanted to add the multiplayer to this game, and this we really definitely can't wait to see that coming in. So we can.
So it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. We already worked on that. It's really tough. I think it will be one of the first roguelikes to have, you know, kind of multiplayer. And so
how is like cooperative or
cooperative?
Okay.
So for now we'll go for cooperative for the release of the game.
Oh my God, we're going to see level 4. I never saw level 4.
Yeah, we nearly didn't see it. No, and to go back on early access and basically and the quality, it's basically what I want to say is, I think for a successful early access, you need to work on the stability of the game. It's better to have little content, very stable, so people can give you meaningful feedback, and even if they play 30 minutes at a time, because there's not much more gameplay than that, they will enjoy themselves. And it's very important to think that people who will play your early access need to enjoy themselves. Yeah. And I think that's sometimes what some smaller developers tend to forget, that, you know, they still think it's a way to earn money early on, and I think it's bad. It's better to do a Kickstarter in that case, you know, than go for early access. For me, early access definitely to get gameplay feedback. That's what it means early on, to polish the game as much as you can for the final game. And as a player, it means that you will have a strong impact to what this game will become, because of course being able to speak about the game while it's being developed will influence it anyhow. If you talk about the game or give advices to the developer after it's shipped, it's too late, basically. So
yeah. So for smaller developer teams, early access is not a good idea to do the financing of your game if you don't actually have anything to show for.
I think that would be bad. I mean, they can do it, but I think that's bad. Okay. So definitely, always when I meet other small developers, I always discourage that. You know, I think it's better to find financing elsewhere.
What kind of early access games did you like a lot in the last few months, maybe?
So I love Towns, and I heard a rumor of the guys not finishing the game. So I hope it's not true.
Yeah, I think you said it's not going to be finished.
and that's kind of thing that I'm telling you that it's not good for the image of early access, but and I hope they will change their mind. So Towns I really loved. I think it's a great game. I couldn't basically I played a lot and then I put it aside hoping to see it finished. So that's why I was disappointed. What else I played? No, Xenonauts. I think it wasn't early access. I think it was finished already when I bought it. I don't have others in mind. And then sometimes I know I played many others, but it's. Planetary Annihilation basically definitely is still in early access and played quite a bit of that one. But I think that's the latest one I got actually in early access. And after that, but it's true that I don't go I don't go for early access where I don't read a lot about it, where people tell me ahead of time, okay, you can go there. I need to make sure I have plenty of reviews, positive, and I am an extremely careful player, even if it's only €4. I don't know. I am always careful with what. I think it's more about the time I will spend. It's not about the money. It's more about will it be worth my time, basically. So.
Are there, I know it's a it's a mean question to ask a developer, but which one didn't you like?
Early access wise?
Yeah.
So my problem is I tend to erase from my memory everything I don't like, including games and movies. So
that's a diplomatic answer.
No, it's true. No, I'm trying to. Is there? No, I can tell you of big games I didn't like, but I will get shot. Especially I had a lot of friends working on these games. No, but basically, no, it's true that lately there's been. When I'm mad about a game, it's mostly a big game, basically, big publisher, big money. I can say, for example, the last Call of Duty, I did not have friends working on it, so I can say it. Really, I was pissed because I really liked the Call of Duty in the past, the old ones. I worked in Battlefield, and Call of Duty was a big inspiration for the Battlefield 2. Because I think they got something amazing with the gun feeling very early on and immersion. But when I played the last one for the next generation of console, the actual generation, it looked like a game that was only meant to be ready, for shipping dates and nothing else. And I felt ripped off basically. So I was not very happy about that one. I really hope that the next ones will be better, and I think they can make them better because they have a strong story in the past. But but most of the time when I get, because also it's stupid, but you get mad because also the price of the game, it's not a €5 game. It's a game you pay 70 euros, and for that price you can expect to have a good experience. Anyway, that was the bitching moment, but no,
we need to have that one.
But but beside of that, on smaller games, and it's true. Maybe sometimes a bit more careful with smaller games. Strangely enough, and also the cheaper. That's weird, but I read a lot more player reviews. I'm waiting for a friend to tell me you can go there, and it's true. That's what we see also with our games. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of word of mouth basically coming out on our games. It's most of the time people tell us it's a friend who told me, and that's a friend of a friend. So that's why also we play a lot with the community, and for us, we know that if we work very closely with our community, we know. They will get the word out. That the game is good, and that we pay attention to their feedback. That's why also we are very transparent on the feedback. So that we get to tell them what we think of it, and if we will include it to an update, we will never do it. I think it's nothing worse than the feedback not to be answered, basically. So it's a lot of, and also I think that contributes to people feeling part of the process.
Okay, I think we're a little bit overdue when it comes to time.
And now we can start talking about the game.
And we didn't even really talk about the game, but like I said, ihr könnt das Spiel natürlich einfach auf Early Access auch einfach kaufen. Ich würde es an dieser Stelle auch mal empfehlen. Ich kann ja auch nicht jedes Early Access Spiel empfehlen, aber das hier kann ich empfehlen, auch wenn ich es nicht kann. Das ist ein sehr schönes Spiel. I thank you very much for taking the time and talking about the development. And next time you visit, we are going to actually talk about the game. Whichever endless game that one is.
Okay.
Of course, there is of course one elephant in the room. Yeah. It's now one evening after the game Germany against Daniel, help me, who did we destroy last evening? Algerien. Also on Friday we are going to see Germany against France.
Yes. And we'll leave Germany before that.
And so afterwards we will decide if you can visit us again.
If I can come back, yes.
No, of course not. I couldn't care less about football. However, thanks again for visiting us. And the next thing we will do here is Endless Legend. And that one will be on GameStar.tv. So, wenn irgendjemand da draußen irgendwas noch zu Endless Legend sehen möchte, dann schaut euch das auf GameStar.tv an. Jetzt sind wir erstmal mit Dungeon of the Endless fertig. So, thanks again. This was Dungeon of the Endless, played by a developer robot called Max, and
who managed not to die, and I was very impressed by your gameplay, dude.
And I saw the 4th level of the game, which I'm never going to see again.
Yeah. Maybe you'll see more than that, actually.
So yeah, thanks again, and all the best with the game. And,
thank you very much for having us here. No, don't die now. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, well, now we can stop.
Now we can stop. Okay.
Thank you.
So, bye.
Bye-bye.